all of us have benefited from your speech. As you mentioned, all of us can contribute to the society with our unique talent. Opportunity is endless, so seek and find to succeed. I'm not sure about everyone here, but I constantly find myself stuck between I need to save money and you only live once. People usually say love is more important than money, but have you ever tried paying your bills with hugs? Neither have I. Now, it's time to invite Dr. Vijeyan Samydevan, founder and chairman of Terra One Syndrome Berhad, to talk about financial saving and strategic investment.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Good morning. I'm speaking to the future leaders. So it's a great opportunity for me to speak to you all. I must say thanks to GOPIO for giving me this opportunity to talk. And this is a topic that, well, my 30 years of academic life, I noticed that the Indian students are not interested in. So there, I go straight away to my points, you see. Financial saving. You see, those economic students would have studied that as income increases, the saving will increase. By then, where are we going to invest our money? That's very important. You see, there are two things that we have to know. That is knowledge, financial knowledge and financial behavior are two different things. We have noticed just now, Mr. Tiaga has told, there are people with not much education, but they're made financially, they are very strong. How they can make? Because they had financial knowledge. They had the financial knowledge. Okay. By then, those people who are doing I'm saying there's some disruption. Those people who are doing degree in business or financial, they have the knowledge, but those people who are without education, they still were very successful. They had the financial behavior. So these are two different things. People who are poor, but later on they become very rich is because of the financial behavior. But it is good to have both knowledge and behavior. See? So that is why most of the students who are parents are wage earners, they will have the knowledge of business knowledge, but they will not, they will seek jobs for about 2,000 to 2,500 and they will work for somebody for wages, which that means they are only making others rich and they are not making themselves rich. Okay, so we have to build the financial behavior. It has been Indians, we always think that you think of talk about money, which means they think that it is immoral to talk about money to most of the Indians, which I have experienced myself. So financial behavior is more important than the financial knowledge. Okay. So now we come to know, because most of you here are between the age of 18 and 25. So probably at the age where you are buying a car, let's take that as the income increases, you will have more saving. Okay. But now look at the present situation, the income increases. I think that 2,500 in Kuala Lumpur is not enough to survive. Yeah, most of them are still looking for money from their parents. Okay, so if that is the case, but I still go into that. You see, when you save the money, where are you going to save? Many, when they have the money saving in a bank, in a simple interest, you are making the bank rich. You are not making yourself rich. On the other hand, if you save the money in a place where you get compound interest. Compound interest means we use the word formula 72. Formula 72, of course, those who have done business, you would have studied the formula 72. Let's take you are investing the money where you can get 6% a year. 6% a year. That means 72 you divide by 6, you will get the answer of 12. That means in 12 years, the amount that you have saved, if you do not withdraw any money, then it is doubles, it doubles. So the higher the interest, let's take you have around 10%, in 7.2 years, the amount will double. So in interest, that means deposit or invest the money where there is compound interest, where the return will be higher. Okay, that's one have to, you young people have to know. Later on, I will tell you where you can get the compound interest. 1.3, I got the higher purchase, okay, paying earlier. You see, here we use the formula 72, 78. What does it mean by 78? Just add the number from 1 to 12, for example. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 until 12, you'll get the number 78. Which means when you buy a car is a depreciating asset. So let's take the interest they are charging for 3% for 10,000 you borrow. If you borrow 10,000, 3% is 300 ringgit. So how the bank is going to charge you? Let's take 300 ringgit. The first month, 12, the largest number from 1 to 12 is 12 over 78 times 300, which comes to about 46.15. That means the first month you will be paying 46 ringgit of the 300. Second month, it is 11 because the remainder is 11. 11 over 78 plus 300, which is 38 ringgit. Second month, you will be paying 38 ringgit. The number goes 10 over 78 and 9 over 78, 8 over 78. That means in the first 5 months, you have already paid 192 ringgit and 07. That means 7 cents, which is makes up over 64% of your higher purchase interest you have paid during the 5 months, even though you have borrowed the money for 12 months. So it is not advisable for anybody who have bought a car after, let's say, 5 or 6 months to pay a lump sum. You're making the bank rich, not yourself. So these things, the bank will never tell you. Even the bank officer do not know how it has been calculated. You will look into the computer, you see this is what you have to pay. No? So even the bank officer, loan officer, they do not know how this has been calculated. Okay. Now we go to the housing loan. Let's take most of you going to buy a house in the future. Housing loan is different way of calculating. There are several ways of calculating interest. Okay. Housing loan, you only pay for the remainder. Whereas car loan, you pay for the total amount, but remainder means you have taken 100,000, you have already paid 10,000. That means you have to pay only for the 90,000 balance. You have to pay the interest. So the housing loan interest is very much cheaper than a car loan. So it is advisable not to buy an expensive car and service the loan. Okay. For example, you buy a small car, a cheap one, which just serve the purpose. It is good enough. Okay, and then I think some of you have read the book by Robert Kiyosaki. You said that accumulate wealth and all these things is important. The book is very, very, very useful book. You all can read the book. Accumulate, you mean the asset. And then if you're buying a house and you're staying in that house, it is not an asset. You're saving the loan. But you have bought a shop house or something else, then you're getting a rental. That is an asset because it is giving you an income, a monthly income. So you must know what is a liability in a house. That is why in Tamil they say siruga katti peruga valu. That means you buy a house, small one, and you stay in that, and a big house you rent it out, and that interest you should be able to pay the rental of the the bank loan of the for your house where you are staying. That the lady Avayar has already mentioned many years back that siruga katti peruga valu. Okay. Can I have the second slide? Can I have the second slide? Okay. So here, strategic investment, fixed income investments, and variable income investments. So here you have to look globally, and something that many of us will never go into is the stock exchange, stock market. You can go to any stock exchange, you can see lots of Chinese will be sitting there and just watching the monitor. Why are they doing and we don't do? Well, I gone into it when I was just 24 years old. That was in Kuala Lumpur, to look for the stock exchange, say how to invest. Fixed income investment is where the interest is being fixed and you learn the interest as fixed. Saving account is a fixed interest. Fixed deposit is a fixed interest. Buying of a bond is a fixed interest. Malaysian banks usually quite difficult to buy, but if you go to the Singapore DBS website, they will advertise. Very often they will advertise fixed income bonds in Singapore dollar. Okay. And then comes the variable income investment. Variable income investment is where you have to buy stocks, so this is where 2.1 and 2.2, I'm telling you how to make your passive income. That means if you work if you're 25 until 35, you for 10 years, you save the money, then 35 and above, that you have life and you have easier life. You will not face a financial problems. Okay, that is why you have to create a passive income. So there are fixed income and variable income. What are variable income? Let's say you buy a company shares. Let's, for example, Maybank share. Maybank every year without fail is offering 6%. If you don't take the money out, they will reinvest the money into buying the share. That means you are creating a compound interest. In 10 years time, it will increase your income further. Maybank, you can, any of you can go to the Remiser and get yourself involved, but it is not expensive. It is not expensive. We think that it's expensive because we don't try it. That's all. My several years of teaching financial management, many Indian students came and asked me how to do. I will tell them, once your exam is over, come and see me. I will tell you how to do. But once the examination over, for the 30 years of my teaching experience, nobody ever came and asked me. That's all. Okay. So we think that the knowledge, financial knowledge, is something that is too far for us. We are unable to do. You can save your money even if you earn only 1,000 ringgit a month. Most of us Malaysian Indians here are children of estate laborers, and some of them are very, very successful. How they become? Because even the parents with a very low income, they have saved, still they send the children for further education, and many are better off. Most of the Kuala Lumpur Indians who are there, Tamilians especially, their ancestors were estate laborers and they are very successful. You too can be successful. You have the financial knowledge and the financial behavior. That's all. Okay. Variable income is where I'm telling you now, you create an investment in some companies. They will give you investment every year. I know quite a number of my friends, and I know here, I'll tell you one thing, that my hometown, there is a Chinese independent school, and the director or also the chairman of the school is one of a very close friend. And during the 3 months of lockdown, they still pay wages for the teachers and the wages for the other staff, as well as even they subsidize the school buses drivers. How? They invested in Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and the dividend of the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, they have to pay the, see how well they have planned, how well they have planned for the future to create a variable income where it can meet the current expenditures. Can we do that? Is any of our NGOs have done that? No. So variable income, we have to create. How? We have to get the knowledge of how to create a variable income. Okay, you can go to China is growing very fast economically. Some of the small Chinese firms are going to be the future MNCs, multinational corporation. Then you can invest the share market of stock exchanges there, Hong Kong. You can. It is not difficult, but we people are thinking it is difficult. Okay. Okay, you can go into the create variable income, invest into companies which offers high dividend. There are companies which are having a high dividend, and also you can, of course, if you see as anybody, the public mutual fund, it do gives. I'm not promoting, but I'm just giving you the knowledge of how to create a variable income, so you can invest the money. Okay. Second, And then see, and some of you, you're young graduates here, what I did was that last year, I started my own company with 28 shareholders. You see, I'm speaking my own experience here. You will face the problem when you face, of course. 28 shareholders. We started a company and I became the shareholder. And you have to back around. Indians, they don't trust one another. You remember that. They don't trust one another when it comes to money. But you have to create a capital. Capital means you have to make them trust you. 28, they joined me. And 20 at last paid me. We only pay very little. Young graduate, they pay 250 a month. As the money was growing, increasing, came to 96 ringgit, 1,000 ringgit. The company secretary asked me to invest the money. Don't just keep the money because it's against the company law to keep the money. I invested the money. I invested the money thereafter in Maybank, public bank, not public mutual. You should understand. And then I invested in OCBC, Singapore Bank, and then in the Singapore Telecommunication, Dairy Farm of Singapore, Tesla Cars of New York, and then we also invested some money in the Johnson & Johnson, that's a pharmaceutical company, American Telegraph and Telecommunication, Bank of America, Bank of China. We invested all these things. With 250 ringgit, when we investing this amount of money, people will join because the most important thing that we need is the honest management. When we manage it very honestly, then many will join. Declare dividend honestly. I am a director of one of a developing company here, housing developing company. How no? There are only 12 members, directors, 6 are Chinese, very well managed. We even declare 25% of dividend. If you manage it properly. The management is very, very important. Here, I'm informing you, I just tell you, don't think that investing in overseas is very difficult. Here, there are within the age of 18 to 25, get together. You all get together. Ask your friends, close friends, and even your relatives, ask them to join. Each of you can join and form a company. Get it done. A company, get about 20 people, invest, not much, about 200 ringgit will do. In 1 year, you can see it comes to 50,000. Go into it. Go invest into that. That's what I'm seeking you. You cannot, Indians, naturally, individually, we are great. But the problem is that we don't work collectively. That's what our mistake is. We don't trust each other. We don't trust each other because some of the mistakes of the past leaders. Forget about it. You people are young. Come with a new kind of new attitude and go into it. Here you can see financial saving, strategic investment. You see variable income investment. These are US companies, PFL. You can go and Google it. And you see, they pay about 7 to 8% a year. 8% a year means you divide the 72 by 8 year and then reinvest the money in the same company. You will make sufficient. In 10 years' time, you need not have to work. The money is sufficient for you to survive. I can see many Indians, they become they say guards here and there and they work. Why? Because of the fail to do the passive income. Fail to create the passive income. You all create the passive income. Today's saving, today's investment is for your tomorrow's easier life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vijeyan, for sharing your knowledge. I'm sure